Don, he was a winner earlier this week. He was one of the people that we said we'd send a T-shirt to or something, correct?
Yeah, I think it was a T-shirt or half off.
A hat or something, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
What's up, Don? He says, purchasing Local GMB Pro was an obvious no-brainer. While I am going through the training, I want to test the method to revive some old lead gen contractor properties that I just let die. Well, this is a great opportunity to do that, because I've got a couple of lead gen properties that I never fully completed either, that were verified GMB profiles that I'm going to be applying this to, because again, it's not going to require all the traditional SEO stuff, right, for me to be able to start generating leads. So once my VA that I just trained, she just started full time this week on doing the posts. I'm gonna start adding additional clients to her, or lead gen properties for her to do this for me as well. And I'm going to be including some of those lead gen properties. So you and I, Don, probably be in the same boat as trying to revive lead gen properties with just the GMB Pro method. It should work. It should work great. So I'm anxious to see what happens. He says, I have a lead gen brand with 2 locations that have been verified at the UPS stores back when that was a thing. Yeah, right. Both locations have tons of citation built, and I checked GMB Insights, and they both are showing up in map search occasionally. Considering you guys still verify PO boxes, is there any foreseeable reason not to use an old verified UPS store address? I would try it, Don. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but what I would do, remember, if you're using a post scheduling app, which I recommend Sendable right now. However, as we just mentioned, or as Marco just mentioned, we're going to have our own posting app available very soon, maybe even by launch time next week. Is that correct?
That's correct. We won't have the RSS feature going in, but we can definitely pull an RSS going out.
Okay.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to testing this out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And guys, the stuff that we're developing into that our GMB posting app, which will allow scheduling and all that kind of stuff. We're developing things into it that integrate specifically with our other products, right? So, for example, syndication networks and stuff like that. So there's a reason why we're developing it. It's not just, because Sendable's good on its own. And I know there's probably some other ones out there. I'm just using Sendable right now while ours is being developed. So just to let you know, what I would do is go ahead and schedule a bunch of posts on, like often, keep your frequency of publishing really high for a UPS store verified GMB profile. Because I've noticed that typically those do get basically ignored by maps, because I had a few of them in the past too, but when they kind of caught on to that stuff, which I can't imagine why PO boxes still work so well, because they do. I don't know why, but UPS stores typically for me, all of those tanked. But if you have one and you want to test to see if you can revive it, I would just schedule a whole bunch of posts. And since you bought the course, I just uploaded training today, process docs, for how you can scrape a whole bunch of images really quickly, auto crop and resize them so that they will be accepted by GMB posts. They'll be the right dimensions, the right sizes. You can rename them keywords. You strip the EXIF data when you scrape the image, and then you add EXIF data using GeoSetter, which is a free software. So all that training has been added to the course today. You can go in and check it out. And that's something that you can do to scrape a bunch of bulk images and schedule a whole lot of posts and see what you can do to revive that. And by the way, let me know how that goes. I'm curious as to I'm going to be doing it too, but I've got so much other work on my I don't know how soon I'm going to get to it. So let me know how it goes, John.
You know what, Brandon? I've since Google kind of recycled, and they let you get away with stuff that you used to. For a while they won't, and then for a while they will. I went ahead and verified a UPS box. I got one, a UPS store box, and I'm using it, and I don't care. It's for ID theft.
Really? Like you just did that recently, and it accepted it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, Don, follow the training as far as how you optimize to make it look as legit as possible. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and give this. That's one of the keys. You have to be transparent with Google. If you try to obfuscate and try to get away with a whole bunch of garbage in that it's the Google ecosystem, then it's likely that Google will not pay attention to it because they'll know it's garbage. But if you're really transparent and if you're really careful with that entity and showing Google that this is a real entity about a real thing on the web, it's from there. It's like, okay, not all I have to do is follow the plan. We always set a plan for you, right? A way on how you build up on how you set up your foundation. And so that's all I can give for free. But catch us in a future webinar, and we'll be adding a whole bunch more training. As I said, I'm going to do update webinars for this because it's going to need it. So there's a lot of things coming, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this works, because that's kind of national, the ID theft. I'm looking forward to him letting us know about local.
Yeah. And so last part of that, Dawn, is Marco mentioned, one of the things you can do besides just what I mentioned with the posting with a high frequency of publishing to that listing to try to revive it, is to show Google that it's a real business. Besides that, it's verified GMB. There's some other things you can do very simply, like, for example, buy a G Suite account for that brand. So that's $5 a month, basically. If you can have anything that you can do to add a billing to Google where you're paying Google, even a small amount, you could do a G Suite account, $5 a month, or you could set up an AdWords account for that company, that business, right? Under which should be obviously owned by a separate Google profile or persona, right? And so you could set up an AdWords account and run some YouTube ads with $1 a day budget or something like that, or 50 cents a day budget or something like that, to run some YouTube ads with links that point back to, your Google Maps listing or GMB post URL, for example. And anything that you can do to add some, verification and a billing, you could buy Google Drive, like upgraded storage, right, for Google Drive for that account. And that's only, I don't know, a few bucks per month or something like that. Anything you can do like that would help, right? Sending traffic to the post, that's different. That's something else that could also help. So there's a lot of things that you can do there, but just again, we're going to be covering a lot more of this stuff in the training. So just keep in mind that we'll be talking about more of that as I add more and more training to the course.